Afternoon, Patriots. Me again, Santa Fox here, Devoted Patriots 2 channel. I just want to let y'all know I'll be out doing a live video a little bit later on today, feeding the homeless like I do on Sundays. It's turning into a regular Sunday deal just because I now get food on Fridays and sometimes during the week as well. Plus, I've got listeners that contribute to my channel, which helps the whole deal. Now, I haven't had a lot of time to do a lot of shopping over the last couple of days. I usually do a little bit of shopping before I get into feeding the homeless. Usually do that on Saturday afternoon, but here it is already Sunday. Hadn't had time, so I'm going to stop and get them a couple of cases of water to make sure we at least got them some water and some of those drink packages, like the hydration packages that go in the waters, so it makes it like Kool-Aid. Going to get some of those, and we've already got a ton of pastries and lots of sandwiches, frozen sandwiches and things. So they at least got a meal or two today when I go drop off. About at least 20, at least 20 people today will get blessed. But we'll be doing that a little bit later on today. So please hit the notification bell if you want to catch all of my videos. I do about one a day, and on Sundays I do a live. And here's a good question for my listeners: what's a good name for my Sunday afternoon hunting down the homeless food drive that I do for them, whether it be out interviewing them, which will come later. Right now, I'm just kind of getting to know them as I bring this food to as many different people as I can, just to let them know that I'm going to show up with a blessing. But my question really is what do you think would be a good name for the segment, everybody? Just a good, curious question for everybody because I surely don't know. But I'm going to set up a playlist where at least every Sunday, anytime during the week that I do it as well, I'll record it, put it on a short, and drop it to a playlist as well. If anybody wants to see my actual progress, how much food was actually getting sent to the homeless, how much I'm actually spending, the whole 9 yards. Going to do it this way on the channel on Sundays from here on out. God willing. All right, folks, I got a couple of things I want to bring to y'all about the news today. Hopefully, everybody is having a wonderful, blessed day. Uh, Sunday afternoon, about lunchtime, going on lunchtime, about time to get out there and feed the homeless here directly. Now, the other day, if you watch all my videos, the other day I put out a article that come over from X, and it says it was about Crossfire Hurricane, and it included someone asking Grok, which is the AI on X, instead of somebody having to read through 700 pages of documents, they asked AI to read over the documents and list all the crimes. And we went through that together here on the channel. It's about 7 different organizations, intelligence agencies, uh, different entities involved, like Fusion GPS, Perkins Coie, entities like that, have broken many, many laws. We're talking about 20 laws over about 7 or 8 different firms, probably 15 or 20 people named directly, but actually a lot more than that when it all comes out. My question is, how soon, now that we've got the names, the documentation, the proof that these people broke the law, weaponized the government against Trump, when will we start seeing arrests? And that is the big question. Now that we got this drop yesterday, it's only going to be a matter of time, and they've got to start arresting people. Now, my first thought was Dan Bongino. Someone the other day on, I forget, I couldn't find the article this morning or the video this morning, but someone had a couple of clips from Dan Bongino where they said Dan Bongino was needing extra protection, like a Secret Service protection unit around him as leader of the FBI over the next 30 days. Now that is a weird statement to make. Maybe saying he needs protection now because maybe he's had death threats against him or something. That'd be one thing. But specifically over the next 30 days tells me that something is fixing to drop, something big, to where it may put people's life in danger. Maybe because it incriminates some of the people at the FBI that may need to go to jail as well. I don't know how they're going to go about this, but there's something big coming in the next 30 days, is what I took out of that particular heading. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. For them to put a Secret Service detail to protect Dan Bongino, he's obviously privy now to some information that will get you if you ain't careful. That's just a fact. Now, Obama's government plot to take down the presidential candidate Trump, 51 intel agents, the censorship situation, lying about the laptop, spying on Trump's team, persecuting Trump, prosecuting Trump, indicting Trump. All of this stuff is connected from Obama, uh, Biden with the Pfizer warrant, Hillary Clinton, all these cretins, Lisa Monaco, these cretins knew that they were going to try to take Trump out, and they were using all the three-lettered agencies to do it. The Obama appointed heads of all these, secretaries of all these three-lettered agencies like the FBI, the CIA, the DOJ. They were all in on it. They were all in on the election shenanigans and the importing illegals into our country. They were in on all of it. They didn't mind a bit. As long as it kept Trump out of power, they were fine with it. Now, this here I thought was a great piece of information. This is off topic of that, but this is about Thomas Crooks, or no, should I say, my mistake, Ryan Ruth. And as of now, he is finally being charged with attempted to assassinate President candidate Donald Trump. I don't know what charges they had him held on up to this point, but they're now finally going to charge the guy since we now got new leadership. So did the Biden administration just put him in jail and not really charge him with anything? I don't know, but it's kind of strange. So we're going to listen to a little bit of this guy's rant about what is going on. This is a tweet from the Attorney General of uh, one of our Attorney General. Here we go. Let's get into it. It says, thanks to the leadership of Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, we now have a federal government willing to work with the states to pursue justice. Now listen here.
You can listen in. I'm Attorney General James Uthmeyer. On September 15, 2024, Ryan Ralph attempted to assassinate then presidential candidate Donald J. Trump at the Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach. Shortly after the assassination attempt, Governor DeSantis signed an executive order directing the Office of Attorney General to work with our law enforcement partners and investigate Mr. Ralph. After 206 days of stonewalling by the federal government that stemmed from days of the Biden administration, I'm able to now announce that my office is charging Mr. Ralph for the attempted first-degree murder of President Trump, as well as a charge for terrorism. My office, as well as our law enforcement partners, were met with major roadblocks in prosecuting this case during Biden's term. Biden and his attorney general sought to frustrate our efforts and block our investigation into.
Y'all hearing that shit? Biden and them were trying to block the investigation into not one, but both of these Trump assassination attempts. There's no doubt about it that they didn't want to get to the bottom of anything. And if you'll let me back it up here just a second, one more snippet right here that I thought was really a need to know thing. Here we go.
The charge for terrorism. My office, as well.
Okay, so now I'm under the impression that he was charged for attempted assassination, but he had never caught the terrorism charge. And now I guess it's been upgraded to more than one charge.
As well as our law enforcement partners were met with major roadblocks in prosecuting this case during Biden's term. Biden and his attorney general sought to frustrate our efforts and block our investigation into the man who crossed into this state and attempted to commit political violence against a Florida resident. Thank God he was unsuccessful, and thank God we have Donald Trump as president again. The leadership of U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel was instrumental in preserving Florida's sovereign authority to do what is right and bring justice where it is due. We now have a federal government willing to work together to pursue justice. Attempting to take the life of a former president and a leading presidential candidate isn't just an attack on one man. This was a political attack against our Republican form of government and our shared American values. We cannot allow justice to be delayed or denied, and thanks to the President, our U.S. Attorney General, and the FBI Director, we are moving forward in our pursuit. Our statewide prosecutors will work to hold this evil man accountable and keep Florida safe, strong, and free.
All right, that was.
Well, being in Florida, they can give him the death penalty. So what they should do is they should interrogate him with the threat of the death penalty if he doesn't cooperate with giving up who put this whole thing into action, because I know this wasn't this guy's idea. He obviously went out of his way to try to kill Trump, and I don't believe it was of his own volition. I believe someone was willing to pay him and try to help him facilitate this whole process. And I'm thinking it was a government entity, maybe one of those guys like one of the guys that didn't protect Trump at the last rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Remember that, folks? Never forget. Some strange stuff's been going on over the last 6 months involving assassination attempts against Trump and Elon, and they're trying to keep it all under wraps just to not panic the public. But it is definitely a strange situation. Now, folks, this is let me see here. I think I'm in the wrong clip. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about what else is going on in the country. No, this is not it. Let me back up a little further. I hate it when I do this. Lose my spot. It happens. You ever done that, folks? Ever lost your spot? I don't know. We're going to go on to the next one, though. If this thing will stop spooling. Okay. Under the Biden administration, individuals could apply for a SBA loan without verifying their basic date of birth info, confirming their citizenship. That was a small business loan. All you needed was a social security number. And what is happening is we're finding out that all these social security numbers that are on the voter rolls that are on the voter rolls that have been used by people that are 150 years that are supposedly 150 years old. What's happened is somebody's reactivated these social security numbers and passed them out like candy to hundreds of thousands of illegals, and we know it now. The story is actually being put together. Doge has really got a lot about it in the last few days.
Doge uncovered massive loan fraud at the SBA that took place during the COVID-19 pandemic. This was incredible, Kelly. Over 5,500 loans, adding up to more than $300 million. They were granted to children under the age of 11. What can you tell us about this ongoing investigation?
Well, it didn't stop there, Maria. There was another $300 million to applicants that were over the age of 115. So what we've done is change our loan applications to include date of birth and also citizenship verification, because we've also found loans that were going to non-citizens. So we have a zero tolerance policy on fraud, but we also have zero tolerance on waste and abuse. And so that's, I'm a business person. I'm doing exactly what any business person would come in and do and say, where are things going off the rails?
I agree. We're finding out that non-citizens were given social security numbers by the thousands, so that way they could be registered to vote, to get a temporary job status, start drawing income. That way they could get their identification, and as far as anybody was concerned, they would become citizens. That's literally how it went down, folks. And the numbers, the Doge is finding out from all these different agencies, the IRS, and citizenship statuses. There's so many different of these agencies that the Doge team is going through that they're finding out that the Social Security numbers, food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, free money, including PPP loans, have all been taken advantage of by someone that is, I'm guessing, handing out to the illegals at this point. That's all I can say. That's what common sense tells me at this point, but we will see. I don't know what to think about it. Hopefully, we'll get some arrest behind it. I'm ready to see people go to jail more than you know. Will it happen? I don't know. I really hope so. I really do hope so. Now, let me play you a little more something I thought was really a good clip as well. This is Newsmax Chris Salcedo show. He had some really interesting takes that I thought report sharing. Here we go.
Tell you, Mr. Cornyn has betrayed his state and this country. There is nothing conservative about John Cornyn's record. Anyone suggesting otherwise is against the truth and against Texas. Case in point, Jasmine Crockett is crowing about her BFF, John Cornyn, who has joined her in renaming a Veterans Administration facility in Dallas after another politician who John Cornyn aspires to emulate, Eddie Bernice Johnson, who grifted off the taxpayer for 30 years as a congresswoman.
You know, we've got something for John Cornyn. It's called Ken Paxton, and he's coming soon. We're talking 2026. John Cornyn will be out because of his statements that he has made. He has not once, not twice, but probably 100 times said walls don't work, borders don't work. It's a waste of taxpayers' money to try to seal the border. This is John Cornyn's words, not mine. Just the facts, folks. Now, this here I thought was a great tidbit of information as well. This is OAN, and this is a little bit more, explain a little bit more of what they found out. The Doge team has found out about illegal aliens registering to vote, as well as getting every kind of government benefit imaginable. Pieces are all coming together, folks, and hopefully we're going to get some arrests soon.
It's not a theory anymore. It's not speculation. It's not fear-mongering. Illegal alien criminals are voting in our elections, and the people who should be stopping it are actually the ones making it happen.
Yep.
Elon Musk just dropped a bombshell that the corporate press is scrambling to cover up. At a rally in Wisconsin, Musk revealed that millions of illegal aliens have been given social security numbers under the Biden regime. Over 2 million in the last year alone.
These are non-citizens that are getting social security numbers. You get this form called the 766, that's the authorization, and then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your social security number. No interview, no ID.
These aren't just numbers for work permits. They open the door to federal benefits, to welfare programs, and yes, voter registration. And after investigating these voter registration forms, Doge confirmed that these illegals weren't just registered, they actually voted in our elections.
We actually just took a sample and looked at voter registration records, and we found people here registered to vote in this population, yes.
And who did vote?
And we found...
Now, those people should be the first ones kicked out of the country, just to show them what full measure looks like for not just violating our laws of coming across the border, but breaking laws while you're here in the country, including voting illegally.
Some by sampling that actually did vote, and we have referred them to prosecution at the Homeland Security Investigation Service.
Yeah.
Already.
Prosecution.
Already. That is already happening right now.
Make it happen.
Let's be clear. This proves what we've been saying all along. Democrats are importing voters to replace the Americans who've had enough of their failed policies. Musk also revealed findings from the Department of Government Efficiency that show Democrats are using entitlement fraud as a magnet to attract illegals. And that's why the Commie-crats are up in arms over Trump's efforts to clean up the system. They know it'll cost them millions of illegal voters.
People sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. He wasn't asleep. No. They weren't asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
This is happening everywhere. It's a nationwide epidemic of fraud. From Texas to California to Minnesota, these parasites are being handed driver's licenses, registered to vote automatically, and issued voter registration forms at welfare offices and DMVs.
And we are going to fix all that. We're going to get federal voter ID passed to the House and the Senate and signed on the president's desk. That way it is not just an executive order. It is a law that can be enforced by the states on a federal level. Hopefully we're going to get that done. That way states like California can turn red, because I'm sure a lot of, if the voter ID laws were implemented in every state, we would win more states as conservative, just as a rule. Now, here's the last little tidbit for you. I know y'all love Hillary Clinton as much as I do. I just figured I'd bring y'all something from Truth Social today. I hadn't been over there in a couple of days, but this is old Hillary Hinton. Um, remember when she said this?
Tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
Remember when Hillary said that? Doesn't even sound like a Democrat, does it? Wow. That's what I got for you today, folks. Hopefully, I'll catch some of y'all on my live stream. I'll be driving around in the truck hunting the homeless today. Going to probably go pick up my friend Steve. And going to get this done ASAP as quick as I can, just so I can get back here to the house, spend a little time with the wife, who does help contribute to this whole thing by helping me prep food, get it ready, bag this stuff up, and the whole 9 yards of sorting and separating and that good stuff. So just hats off and thanks to everybody that's involved in this helping the homeless venture that has been put on my heart by God and has been blessed by everybody that's involved. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And thank you to everybody that now sees, at the least, you could do it too. There's little things that we can all do to be better people, be better to our fellow mankind. And I'm just trying to do my small part. Hopefully, this will catch fire, and some other people will be encouraged to do something similar or the same. I feel like I now have a calling besides just podcasting the truth out here, ciphering through a lot of the jargon that's on the mainstream propaganda, but I also have a mission to try to feed as many people a week as I can because it's coming. It's like that. It's like that movie, Field of Dreams. You ever seen it? Older baseball movie. Build it, and they will come. And that's what I feel like is happening with the groceries and the food and the donations and the will that God put on my heart to get up and do this every weekend, no matter what. Uh, thank you, everybody. Like, subscribe, and share. Devoted Patriots. Over and out.